up, guys? Josh here from Casket Comics. We got our new release comic week for April 10th, 2024. So let's get right into it, guys. Starting out, we'll have House of Slaughter from Boom Comics. Still trying to catch up on the series, a little bit behind. So not going to show too much stuff from it. Just pop up a graphic over here. Something's Killing the Children has always been a great series, so I'm excited to actually dive into House of Slaughter. I know they're like 2 years into it, but I have all the issues, just haven't had a chance to really pick it up and read it. So I'm also trying to finish Something's Killing the Children, at least catch up before I jump into House of Slaughter. So yeah, that's House of Slaughter from Boom Studios, number 22. Next, we're going to do Beneath the Trees Where No One Sees from IDW. This is issue 5. This was a interesting issue. You still have Sam, the main character. She is still on the run. She's hides in the city a bit because she can disappear in the city. And she starts to actually see the literal ghosts of her past. So she's seen like people she's murdered. And this leads her into the woods and kind of brings her to this Vision Quest style journey. And it kind of rekindles her fire, and she sets out on her path of revenge. So, solid issue, as always. Some solid art, really cool depiction of the city here. I can't talk today. And then just still really funny to see all the animals and stuff. There's her kind of seeing one of the people she had murdered in the past. Very interesting issue, but still solid story still. And I think the next issue is the finale, so I'll be curious to see how they end it. But yeah, that is Beneath the Trees Where No One Sees, number 5. Also picked up a variant cover for it, which will pop up right here as well. The variants for this have always been really cool, so I've enjoyed getting them. So with that said, I'm going to Image Comics. First, we'll do, we're going to do Napalm Lullaby, number 2. In this issue, we get more time and introduction and unmasking of Sarah and Sam, who were the main characters from the first one. You've discovered they seem to have unique powers. You don't know why. You think that it seems to me that they have them to, maybe they were bred this way or something, to actually try to fight and defeat this god-esque character. They pretty much in this issue are trying to convince their dad. They're planning to sneak into the Crystal Temple, which is kind of like this city on the inner part. They're kind of on the outskirts of the main city, and the inner city is the Crystal Temple, and it's kind of a very, like I said, they depict it as almost as heaven. It's essentially heaven in this world. And it's where the baby from the first issue that was introduced in the Superman-esque intro, I think, is the god that follows them, because the parents that found the baby were in this kind of like cult-esque thing. So and they pretty much convinced their dad with some coaxing. And there's some really good brother-sister moments between Sam and Sarah in this. And and it kind of ends with them managing to sneak into this heaven-esque place. And once again, I'll show you some of the artwork. This kind of reveals Sarah's face, and then you see Sam's face over there. He can kind of read and control emotions a little bit. That actually kind of helps them, as responsible for them getting in. It's just some, like I said, the art's really cool. This issue definitely got me a lot more interested in the first one. I actually almost wasn't debating picking this up. There's a really cool brother-sister moment with them right before they're going on their mission. Like I said, the art for it's just awesome. The story is really cool. I like the switch in tone of like them in the outer skirts of the city, and once they get towards the inner city, the background takes a very white, like heavenly style shift. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, really good issue. Definitely going to pick up issue 3 now. So I recommend it. It's Napalm Lullaby, issue number 2 from Image Comics. Next, we're going into a big one. Next, we're going to do Transformers number 7 from Image Comics. Daniel Warren Johnson continues to write this story, and it continues to be amazing. I personally actually enjoy, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, it's either Jorge or George Corona's art actually better than Daniel Warren Johnson. It's a little less hectic to me. There's still some, it's got a very, very Daniel Warren Johnson-esque feel to it. But just when you have the like character-driven moments. There's some good fighting in this, but mostly it's a very character-driven issue. You have some really good talk between RC and can't think of the girl's name. Let's see. We'll dive in for a second. Stay with me. Carly. There we go. So Carly and RC, you have some good like character-driven moments with them. So like yeah, very character-driven issue. There's a Decepticon battle for leadership, a flashback to Cybertron starring RC, which is really cool. The fusion that happens between Optimus and Sparky seems to be doing something to Optimus. You get a little hints at that. And yeah, like I said, we get some Carly RC moments. Mainly focus on Optimus at the end. There's some really cool, like, very good, like, leadership shots from Optimus at the end of the issue. But as always, this continues to be a really solid issue. As long as Daniel Warren Johnson is writing the story, I'll be on it. Like, I'm not a huge Transformer fan by any means, but this really got me into Transformers a lot more. So, really excited for issue 8. So, but yeah, this is Transformers issue 7 from Image Comics. Next, I picked up the regular and the variant cover for this. We have Power Rangers The Return number 3 from Boom Studios. There's a villain story, kind of backstory reveal in this one. We have the Rangers being trapped. And the story just continues to be the best Power Rangers story since probably the Lord Drakkon story was introduced. It's just really good. You get some more flashbacks. There's not too much I want to reveal just because it was just such a good story. I will show you some art. Here's a cool page kind of revealing the new villain, some talk about her and stuff. But yeah, great issue. Love the flashbacks. Love the way they do the story. Plus they kind of leave you hanging. Good cliffhanger ending. It says finale for the next issue, so I'm guessing the next issue is the end, which is kind of sad for me because this has been such a good comic, and like even though it's monthly and you have to wait a month for the next issue, I could probably read this comic for an easy like 10 issues, maybe 15 issues, depending on how drawn out they do some of the stuff. But it's been a very good issue. So yeah, Mighty Morphin from Power Rangers: The Return, number 3 from Boom Studios. Definitely pick that one up. Next, we're going into some Marvel stuff for at the end. I did not have any DC this week again. The issue is I haven't caught up with a lot of DC, and DC is in the middle of a lot of their runs. So when we get the next jumping on point, since Night Terrors, I really haven't kept up with anything. So once we have our next jumping on point, I'll definitely get into some DC. I really enjoy Green Lantern. I enjoy Superman. Batman's so for me. He has some really good stories, but sometimes they're just like long and drawn out and not very good. So, or maybe the next Elseworld comic that comes out, I'll pick up. Anyways, this is Edge of the Spider-Verse, number 3. This introduces Star Spider, and also has a story featuring Web Weaver. Weaver we've been introduced to in the Spider-Verse stories before. And yeah, the story 1 is Star Spider, aka Persephone Parker. Goes by Percy for short. It's a fun alternate story of a spider person. The second story is Weaver, who we've met through the Spider-Verse stories. It's a good story about introducing more about Weaver's personal life and his roommate, who is Peter Parker, getting kidnapped. And it just gives Weaver some woven out backstory. So once again, the art's really fun. I like that they do you are nearing the edge of Spider-Verse kind of intro at the beginning of each issue now. That's really fun. But yeah, so we have Star Spider, who is kind of on this space station that has these spiders that maintain it, these robotic spiders, and that kind of make her suit very similar to Tony's like Iron Man suit with nanobites, but it's these spiders. And it's just a really funny story, a real fun story. She works for Professor Osborn. So, and of course, the villain in this is Doc Ock. Villain in the Weaver is. You don't actually see the villain, but you get hints that it is the Vulture. So they're just really, like I said, this continues to be really fun. I think this is, like I said, just like last issue with the Scary Man. This this is the best Edge of the Spider-Verse since the original to me. So really enjoyed this. So definitely pick up Edge of the Spider-Verse number 3. And last but not least, we have Ultimate X-Men number 2 from Peach Momoko. I picked up the regular, the 1 in the 10, and the 1 in 10 variant for this one. This, I personally think this was a better developing story than the first issue. Obviously, they have more to develop. You get more into it. I love the horror vibe from it. Peach has always done very like kind of gruesome pictures. It's very horror-esque pictures, so it's really cool to see the whole issue with her art. We pick up with a few flashbacks with Hisako and Tsubasa, her friend who murdered himself, who killed himself in the first issue, or who you find out he killed himself before the first issue. And it's a nightmare, and she wakes up from it, and she kind of has to go out to do some regular day-to-day stuff, and that's where she meets May. Her name is Mai Igarashi. Obviously, we know her from the variant cover that Peach had invented the character on. She went by May Storm. And she has very Storm-esque like powers, and she just tags along with Hisako, and they go to this old abandoned school. They find out more about the Shadow Man. Some creepiness ensues, and Hisako's armor actually comes out again and helps her defeat him for a temporary second, it seems like. And you also get this like May revealing her control over air at the time to Hisako. And it kind of begins to set up the team, you know. I really think it's a great read, and like I said, I personally think it was better developed, and you get more of the story, which kind of, just to me, I think this is a better issue 2 than issue 1. But really excited for the next issue. They're supposed to introduce the third member of, I guess, what this team is forming to be, and we're going to get Nico Minoru from The Runaways. It's one of my favorite comics growing up. Really enjoyed it, so I'm really excited to see what Peach does with Nico's character. And yeah, guys, that was the comics for this week. That was Ultimate X-Men number 2. And like I said, I picked up the regular and the 1 in 10 copy. And yeah, guys, still working on the next giveaway. Probably will come out maybe by the end of this month. We'll get it figured out. Maybe even it might be a couple months before we get it out, because I might just wait till HeroCon and try to have something big for it. So I'll figure out something for it. But yeah, guys, as always, keep reading comics. See you guys in the next video.